Hey folks, Wade here at the Shoemakers Academy. Now, hey, we love watching the YouTube video where the cat's walking on the bookshelf and he looks like he's gonna make it and he jumps and he totally falls, but you think, oh, but he lands on his feet and it's okay. But so yeah, we love that. That's hilarious. It looks like a tragedy, but okay, in the end, it's not. What I hate watching is people have a plan to start a new shoe business and make sort of unforced errors. They take all the time, effort, and energy and the starting capital and they blow it by just not following some simple steps to stay on top of it and to make sure their brand succeeds. So, hey, what did we do? We wrote a book, which I'll show you later, and we also teach a course, which helps you. But hey, listen, today I'm going to walk you through some of the top 10 mistakes to avoid, right, when you're starting your own shoe company. So here we go. Oh, and by the way, you can watch this video course and we'll go through most of it, but, literally head on over to Shoemakers Academy and look up, it's right on top of the blog, 10 tragic shoe mistakes. Okay, number one, and these are in no particular order, but you got to avoid all of them, is a lack of product research. And that just kind of means like, are you making the right thing for the right people, right? Is it the right price? Should you be doing this? How big is the market? You got to do your research and understand that you're making the right thing. You might have a dream for underwater bowling shoes, but you got to find out if the rest of the world is kind of with you on that, right? Okay, poor branding and poor positioning, right? Hey man, if you're going to make a cool brand for kids, then, make sure it's got kid stuff. If you're going to make a cool brand for, yoga instructors, then don't put cartoon characters on it. Think about your brand and your brand position, because you got to have an amazing story, but you got to present it to the people that you just researched, right? That are going to get it and understand it. Okay, next one, inadequate product quality, right? I mean, this one you think is kind of obvious, right? But it's not always. There's some things that get in the way, price and all these other things. But hey, listen, if you start thinking about quality from day one, and it wraps up into your design and what factory you pick, all those things. You've got to think about that because you're going to put all this time and effort in. And if the outsole falls off, you are dead meat. Okay. Time and money, right? You have to have a realistic capital plan when you set out to do this business, right? And realistic capital plan means how much money, when you're going to need it, right? What you're going to do, and you got to map out what you're going to need it for, because unless your mom and dad is super rich or you're super rich already, but you might have to get investors. You might have to ask someone to help you with this, right? So you got to know, number one, how much you're going to need. Number two, when you're going to need it. Number three, exactly what it's for. So you could create a plan, right? And this plan will help you understand, like, if you do the right financial planning, then you'll understand how much you can spend to launch your brand. So really, you got to have a plan. Okay. Number 5, marketing strategy, right? Okay, listen, I'm going to say this like 900 times. Building a website is not a strategy. Okay. That's one little piece, right? I'm going to sell it on the internet. If that's your strategy, stop now or take your money and burn it, right? Listen, building a website is not a strategy. You got to go way further than that, right? How are you going to get people to that website? Now, I'm watching some people do some amazing things where they've got a full social media push and the shoe's not even available yet. In fact, the shoe's not even confirmed yet. And they're doing a pre-campaign to condition their audience, to educate people about the brand and what the shoe can do, even though it is many months away. They're building that knowledge, trying to get people to understand what it is. So when it arrives, they totally get it. Okay. Not doing the math to accurately land the shoe. What does that mean? That means you've got to look at all the cost components, right? Not only what does it cost to make the shoe, what does it cost to ship it, import it, bring it to your warehouse. Where is your warehouse and how you're going to ship it to your customer? You've got to do the math to understand what it's going to take to get the shoe to you so that you can understand what to sell it for, right? If you have an idea that, hey, I want to make a price point shoe for basketball and I want it to cost $28. Guess what? That if you're going to sell the shoe for $28, it means you got to buy it for about $4. Okay. Not a great plan. But hey, if you do the math and you can get a shoe for $4, then maybe it can work, right? You got to understand all those cost components. We wrote a book about it. There's an entire course on how to do that. Okay, not having your shoes classified. Now, this one is not that much fun, right? When you go to import a shoe, you've got to analyze its materials and its cost and what its function is, so you can understand the duty rate. Because the duty rate of a shoe could be 0, it could be 37%, it could be 20%. You've got to understand that because it's a huge cost component. All right, next, incorrect development timing. And this one, I've seen this happen. And it's no fault of your own, but you got to know, like, if you're making a sandal, if it arrives in July, you've missed the season. But also, you got to understand when the sandal buyer, right, whether it's a store, right, when the sandal buyer is going to be ready to buy. Because you've got to get to that store owner in enough time where he still has some money left, because the other sandal makers have been there already, right? You got to get there and show your product in time so that they can save some money to buy your product, right? So remember, you've got to sell it to the store before the store has a chance to sell it to the customers. And all that happens way before the retail selling season. So when do the buyers have their money to buy? So you got to go visit them and get your product to deliver into the season, right? So, okay, if it's Christmas merchandise, then it's got to be on the water in August, September, so that it can be in the warehouse in October and in the store in November. So you got to think about all those schedules. Now, depending on what kind of shoe you're making, snowboard boot, hockey skate, summer sandal, basketball shoe, baseball shoe, they all have a season. You got to understand when they're going to buy it. Okay, enough about that one. Not protecting your brand trademarks. Now, I've been to a big trade show and watched a guy from another country walk down the aisle, list down all the names of all the hot new brands, and go back to their home country and register the trademark. So if you don't want your trademark to be, owned by a Chinese company, then you probably should protect your trademark. Now, hey, the reason you got to protect your trademark in your home country, whether in the United States or Europe or wherever, is you have to know that your trademark is available. Because, you've had a great idea, but you know what? Someone else may have had that same idea. You need to go find out. And I've worked with brands that they had a killer idea for a brand name. Couldn't do it because it was already taken. So, if you go to protect your trademark, number one, you can hold on to it, right? And actually, in the end of the day, if you sell your company, the trademark might actually be the only thing that's valuable, right? Like, they don't want your warehouse. They don't want your staplers. They might not want your employees, right? But they do want your brand name, okay? All right, number 10, not creating a target list of retailers, and it should say retailers and customers, before you import your new products. You've got to know where you're going to sell this thing. And people got to be ready for it and expecting it. Right now, I knew a guy, he was brave. He bought 50,000 pairs and had them on the water and went to a trade show and just said, hey, folks, my shoes are coming and I'm ready to sell. Now, and you give away your leverage, of course, because they know if you got it coming, then they're going to hit you for a big discount, right? But also, it's kind of crazy. Now, he did all right. He sold a bunch of them, but then he still had to put some in the warehouse. So again, having a plan for who you're going to sell it to is critically important. All right. So I don't want to scare you about this stuff. This stuff's all easy to avoid. It really is. So how can you dig deeper into all these issues? Number one, come to the website, visit the blog. Number two, let's go over here to books and tools, and I'm going to show you a textbook that explains all this stuff. It's called How to Start Your Own Shoe Company. I know, I'm a genius, right? I came up with that. So this book here, How to Start Your Own Shoe Company, details a lot of this great stuff, right? Perfect place to get started. Now, if you really want to go to the next level, go over here to online courses here, hit the course catalog. And the first thing you're going to see is the all access pass. Let's hold on from that for a second. The next thing down here, you're going to see Shoe Business Startup Course. So this course is, we take that book and just go and inflate it, right? Dig deep into it, right? The book comes with the course. And this course is 10 hours of me telling you how not to screw up. No, it's me telling you how to create a plan, right? And actually it's not one plan. It's like 10 plans, right? And you break it all up. The money plan, the capital plan, the branding plan, the manufacturing plan, tons of plans. You're going to be planned sick of it, but you got to have those plans. Otherwise, you might as well take that money that you're going to invest in your shoe company and burn it. So I promise you, it's worth your time and effort to invest in yourself and check out this class and check out the book. Now, listen, next level, right? If you want to go through all of those details, I mean, this course is pretty good. It lays it all out. But if you want to dig really deep, then you got to get into the all access pass. And the all access pass it takes what would be a sort of a 15-20 minute lesson in the shoe business startup course, like the one on import duty, and blows it up, and you go 2 hours more deep into that, right? And same thing, we talked about quality. There's a whole course on quality control and inspection. You got to know that stuff, right? You really got to know. So again, hey, listen, top 10 tragic mistakes. I mean, okay, the 11th tragic mistake is not swinging by the Shoemakers Academy and digging deep into the shoe business startup course or even the all access pass. Again, please don't waste your money, right? don't destroy your money. Hey, get a plan. You can make it happen and avoid these 10 tragic mistakes. Hey, thanks a lot.